up, y'all? It's your girl Sakina, and I'm back for another review. This is my review for the Real Housewives of Potomac. This is season 6, the reunion special part 1, y'all. We finally made it down to the reunion. I'm so excited to see what this reunion is going to give, even though it is 4 parts, child, and we just don't know how that's going to go. We know when they have a tendency to draw out parts of reunions, we get some episodes that are just not given, and you know, they could have summed some stuff up earlier on, and so I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited at the same time because it looks like it's going to be a good one, all right? So let's go ahead and get into the looks. Though we already talked about it in a special live that we did on the Whether You Like It or Not panel, I did want to give my opinions on what the ladies look like or what I thought the ladies were serving, because some people didn't get the opportunity to watch the live. So let's go ahead and get into it, right? Wendy. I think Wendy looked amazing. I loved her dress. Happiness was front and center, sitting up pretty. I loved her hair. I loved her makeup. I loved everything about Wendy's look. Definitely one of my favorites. So shout out to Zen Win for doing the damn thing. Robin. The dress is very nice. I will give her that. I like her dress. Though it is a pink theme, she went with more of a neutral tone. So it was kind of like teetering on the pink scale, like a very soft pink that kind of is in the group of neutrals, neutral browns and tans and things. So, I mean, I like the dress. It was very nice. However, that hair and makeup, who did it? You? Because that's what it gives. No, ma'am. The makeup, it was, I don't know if it was like too dark. If I'm not mistaken, it was like a smoky eye. And Robin, no, your hair was tired as hell. Like, she just can't get right. She can't get it right. Moving on. Karen. Loved her dress. I love the fact that she had a short dress on compared to the rest of the ladies. She had a short dress that was serving shape, and then it had a train. I said, yes, Karen, I loved her hair. I loved her shoes. But after seeing the outfit while she was sitting down, I noticed that the mesh was not really her skin tone, so that deducted a few points off for me. So sitting down, it just really didn't look as good as it was in her individual picture. But you look good, Karen. Gizelle. The basic queen herself, honey. Gizelle, how can the theme be pink, which is your sorority color, and you fail per usual? Like, we shouldn't even be surprised. The wig, no ma'am. But you know what? For Gizelle, it is what it is. I feel like that jumpsuit, a lot of people were saying it was giving Clark Sisters, which was hilarious as hell to me. But when I seen it, literally the first thing I thought of was Mia's Goddess Party. You could have wore that to the Goddess Party. I don't know. Anywho, Candace, another least favorite of mine. Candace, I don't know what this was. The corset looked like a 2-piece. I didn't like the little thing sitting on her hip. The hair, were you trying to pay homage to Candace in the earlier years where you used to wear 50 bundles on your small head and it never was laid, it was always lifted? Like, girl, what is this? You've been bringing it as far as looks, hair, makeup. Why are you backtracking? This is unacceptable. For you to come to the reunion with this hair, it was very basic. And I don't know if she needed like a asymmetrical bob or something. Like, I don't know. But yeah, she was definitely giving Jada Pinkett Smith from Nutty Professor. I agree with the people because, listen, did you borrow her wig, Candace? I need to know. Well, I'm a little nervous. I don't understand it. I was not a fan of her shoes either. Like, no, ma'am. Andy said that he liked her shoes. I mean, he liked her hair. And I said, why are you lying? And, you know, he stops by and says something to everybody. And, you know, he was singing Drive Back. I thought that was cute or whatever. She said, I know I'm getting off topic. I'm supposed to be talking about looks. But, you know, she said that she's no longer the Twitter queen. And Mia has since taken her place, right? Speaking of Mia, ooh, look at me with the segues. That was by mistake. But anyway, Mia, favorite look. The moment I seen Mia's outfit, I instantly had to go up for her. And y'all know I do not care for Mia, but ma'am, when a girl looks good, you gotta give her her props, okay? I love the pretty and pink peacock ombre with the train. I loved her hair that went with it. Like, Mia, the makeup, definitely hands down my favorite look. I said, that's how you bring it for your first reunion. Go ahead, Mia. I'm so proud of her. Definitely my favorite look. And then we can get into Askale. It was giving 80s high fashion with the puff shoulder. She hit us with a side pony. I actually loved it. I know a lot of people were not into Askale's look, but I was here for it. I think that what she did was what Erica Jane should have tried to bring for the Beverly Hills reunion, but we know that budget is cut, baby. Listen, she's struggling and she ain't able to give the people the money to serve the look. So sorry, but I just love the side ponytail and the earrings. Shout out to Askale. But yeah, oh yeah, I forgot all about Ashley. Maybe we was about to move on. Ashley, I feel like she looked good, but she did play it safe. It was giving very pageant. I'm gonna need you to stop trying to sell us on this whole Darby Barbie. Nobody gives a damn what Michael calls you. We do not care. And the quicker you realize that, the better off we'll all be, girl. Who cares? Gizelle, one thing I will say, you need to take notes from Ashley on how to play it safe because you just can't seem to get it right. So those were my thoughts on the looks. Overall, my favorite looks were Mia, Wendy, and Karen, even though I said that Karen definitely got some points taken off with that whole mesh detail. And my least favorites is Gizelle, Robin, and Candace. Speaking of looks, child, they basically opened up talking about the fashions, and Gizelle, apparently she has a stylist, and I've never heard her say that on any of the reunions. But why are you paying them? Like, what are you paying them for? Literally, it looks like you get dressed yourself. So you mean to tell me that you're paying somebody to put on those clothes? People on Twitter be dragging you every season, not just last season. I don't know why Andy pinpointed last season. No, she gets dragged every season for her looks because she cannot dress. And this is something that was not discovered last season. Now, the viewer who said it, I guess, was saying that, you know, she's improved this season. Where you see that at? Because I ain't see it. So then Andy was like, I want to know what the rest of the ladies think about Gizelle's style. And Candace was like, no, I mean, it looks good for you, but it's a no for me. And of course, Gizelle not being able to take constructive criticism was like, well, I don't like your outfits. I mean, it's a no for me. Girl, listen. Just like Candace said, the people would definitely pick up on some of the garments that I wear compared to you, ma'am. Don't get it confused. I was cracking up when Andy said, how was that working for you? Talking about her style journey. It ain't working, and she knows. She be on Twitter every Sunday night, damn it. So Nicki Minaj sends a video to the girls because they think that she's not going to be in attendance, even though we know that she's going to show up later on. I said, what kind of video is this? It's giving very low quality. Was this filmed on a camcorder? Why can't we see her face? So then they get into Mia's segment and her being the newbie and how the girls liked her. Now we'll just wait. So they start giving their first impressions, and Candace emphasizes twice that she really liked Mia in the beginning at first, okay? Don't get it twisted. Earlier on, she was Team Mia. So then Gizelle said that she liked her too. You know, she owned her shit. And Candace chimed in and was like, oh, girl, what do you mean? Sis be lying. And Gizelle was like, what did she lie about? And Mia wants to know what she lied about as well. Girl, you know what you lied about. And Candace listed it. Well, she started off with the whole clit surgery thing. And she was like, yeah, I did get it done. So they're trying to figure out, girl, did you get a rejuvenation or did you get surgical work done to your clit? And her surgeon was like, it's all in the same facility and they need to grow up. The girls need to grow up. Girl, no. And then she goes and says that she had a mommy makeover. But you had a C-section. So you didn't pop your 3 babies out through your vagina. You got a C-section. And it's okay to get a mommy makeover because, you know, you still carry 3 children and all of that. But you're saying that as if this mommy makeover was included in your vagina. And then she finally admits that she did it because she wanted to get her vagina worked on. And Wendy was like, but you do missionary, so, I mean, how beat out the frame is your vagina? It's just weird. Like, I don't understand, like, or, I don't know, because y'all know when y'all see flicks, some of the girls' vaginas do be looking beat down. We don't really know too much about her history. So maybe that vagina is worn out. Maybe it's not just G that... I'm not trying to say she a hoe, because I don't know her like that. But we just don't know her past beforehand. Maybe that vagina was getting a beat down. I don't know. Speaking of that, they start talking about the strip club. Girl, were you an escort? Were you a stripper? What is it? Now, I'm going to say this. And it's funny because my cousin was watching The Wire, the first season, right? You know, The Wire was filmed in the early 2000s. And though they said that this was in South Carolina, the club that Mia was working at, in Baltimore, where The Wire is filmed, there is a strip club, you know, where, I cannot think of his name right now, where, you know, they used to, Idris Elba's character in them, they used to have that strip club or whatever. The strip club had women who were in gowns in one of the seasons. She was literally in a gown. And I was like, oh my gosh, maybe Mia ain't lying, because what? So it's supposed to be like this high-end strip club that she worked in down in North Carolina. Come to find out, G helped build the VIP upstairs. And no, it wasn't a love at first sight thing. When Haiti had an earthquake, he helped her friend build her organization. And once she seen that he had a heart and he wasn't just this crazy guy who walked barefoot in the strip club, that's when she fell for him. You mean once you seen that coin, once you seen that he had money to build the VIP and open up or start up organizations and shit, you was like, all right, I think I'm down. I think I'm ready, because yeah, why would I entertain somebody who was walking bare feet in the strip club? What are you doing? That just further proves that he been crazy since the moment she met him. He had to be liquored up then. So then they get into the conversation where she finally admits that she did take her clothes off. She would start off in a gown, and then eventually she'll, you know, parade around in her boy shorts, which she would typically wear. So they was like, oh, well, we didn't hear that part. And she was like, well, you know, it's kind of hard to get a word out with some of you ladies. No, girl, you purposely left that out because you was very adamant that it was high end. And maybe when she was describing it, which could be a lie as well, but she said it was makeup artists, it was barbers, they had massage therapists, chiropractors, the shoe shiners, which is why G was walking around without his shoes on. I said, child, kind of. Okay, we're gonna have to Google this. I need to know for myself. But not saying that I'm a go, but you know, you gotta fact check with me. You know, she be lying. So then they get into how she claims to be self-made, but we know that G has a bit of coin. So she goes into that, and she said when she met him, he had some McDonald's that he owned and he sold out. As far as the chiropractic franchises, she said that I guess they worked together on it, but before she met him, she had some massage envies that he helped her with early on. Girl, I don't know, because it always gives me, he, from the way that she kicked it within the season, that he has the joint chiropractic, and now he's trying to, you know, step back a little bit and give her the role to play dress up and play boss lady. I don't know how true this is. Mia, how did you get the coin? Did you get it from, you know, stripping? At this point, I don't even care to know. Her mama and her situation, you know, her mama said that she was going to pray for Candace, and Candace was like, I don't want those prayers. I don't want those prayers. Okay, girl. Who was it? Her mama, they in a good place. The kids is being watched by her right now as we speak. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, I guess that's a bit of progress. Listen, just keep your mama off the show, okay? That's all we ask. And then they talk about how Mia be changing her stories up. You know, one minute she was cool with the green-eyed bandits and Gizelle had a good heart. Then the next minute she ain't fool with her. She felt like, you know, she just is a girl with looks or whatever she said about Gizelle earlier on in the season. And she was like, well, you know, I just speak how I feel in that moment. You know, I could feel like you got a good heart, and then, you know, I could feel another way the next day. And, you know, I'm not afraid to tell you about it. And Gizelle said, that's a lie. Hello, that is a lie. That is a lie, because you didn't say that she was just a pretty, I think that's what she said. You didn't tell Gizelle to her face that she was just a pretty face. She heard it from somebody else, and then she confronted you about it. So there you go lying, Mia. But okay. Gizelle's segment there's nothing to talk about. There's no man. The house is not complete. Like, literally, she has not accomplished not one goal within this season. So, yeah, there's really not much to talk about. Andy was asking Wendy, does she know about this man? Like, Wendy has to know about this man that you were dating, this 34-year-old, because he's a commentator. She was like, yeah, I do. And she was like, I don't know if it's him in particular, but I do know a guy that said that he was, you know, talking to Gizelle, but he doesn't know if she doesn't know if that's the man that she was talking about within the season, or, you know, in that one episode. It wasn't something that was discussed the whole season. Ooh, and then when they gave that flashback of Wendy reading Gizelle down, talking about how you just keep going to a man that constantly cheats on you. I said, gather her, Wendy. Yes, we love Zen Win. Anyway, it wasn't much to talk about here, okay? And then they brought up Van Jones, and Wendy was like, yeah, no, he would never date her. She's not his type. He likes a woman with integrity. And oddly enough, y'all know I watched this with subtitles. I thought that the subtitle said he dates women with integrity, and somebody said, oh, wow. But then the subtitle literally said, I thought you were going to say white women. And nobody ever said that. Let me find out my closed captions being shady, because I'm confused. Her house, Andy is trying to figure out, is there some type of cohesiveness with it now? And she was like, yeah, the entryway is bringing it all together. I don't know, because on the right side of the house, so you got like the little entryway thing that she was building when they had the reasonably shady party, but then like the other side of the house looks very farm stably. So it's like, girl, you got the west wing over here, which is like a totally different structure from the main house, and then you have this entryway that you're trying to build, and then you giving stable farm realness over here on the right side. So I'm not believing that it's all coming together. But girl, you like it, we hate it. Andy talk about that purple wall didn't go with anything, because she talking about some yeah, it really didn't go with the it didn't go with the new floors. And he was like, I don't see what it went with. Listen, okay, no, girl, and she needs to get a new fireplace mantle, because that shit is ugly as fuck. That stone, please hire an interior designer that actually does good work, okay? Because obviously you got a stylist, and the stylist doesn't do a good job with styling your clothing. Girl, get your Google on, get your Yelp on, get your networking on. Find somebody that can really help you pull that look together, because, girl, it's a goddamn mess. They get into Jamal. Girl, you don't know when you broke up with him. I don't know. Earlier this year. I don't know. Yeah, you don't know, because y'all was never really together, girl. What are you talking about? And Andy is like, okay, so when we filmed in November last year, you was in a relationship with him. He was here or whatever. So now you're talking about January, February, you don't know. And Wendy is like, oh no, wait, let's stop all this bullshit, because he came out on social media saying that he wasn't in a relationship. And that was in December. So, girl, what are you talking about? Because even when she was like January, February, Candace like, how convenient. Like, nobody is buying this, girl. Excuse me. That man is lying, and you talking about some, well, I interpret, not that man is lying. That man was telling the truth, and you lying. And she talking about, well, the way that I interpreted what he said in the blogs is he wasn't married. No, Andy and Wendy was both like, no, girl, he was saying that he was not in a relationship with you. So what are you talking about? Just continuously making up excuses. Andy brings up last season's review and the binder and, you know, the other women. And she was like, well, you know, we were trying to figure it out. You know, we was trying to figure it out. And Karen is like, so basically you wasn't surprised about the other women. So you were basically a willing participant this go round. And she was like, no, girl, don't. I'm tired of talking about Gizelle and Jamal, because the shit wasn't real from the jump. As soon as we heard that they was going to be rekindling or whatever the hell, and we seen them on that boat giving no type of energy, we already knew. Girl, stop playing in our faces, because we ain't done. So then one of the viewers was like, Gizelle, why do you feel the need to be so involved in everybody else's relationships, but when it came down to Williamsburg and Askale asked you about Jamal, you ain't want to talk about it, talking about trolls and all of that. Girl, if you in a relationship, you in a relationship. Yes or no. Simple as that. Like, But she was like, nah, she don't really deflect. And Wendy was like, yeah, not only is she deflecting because to Gizelle, she thinks that she's being open and honest about everything. But Wendy is like, not only is she deflecting, she doesn't want to talk about it, because when she talks about it, then she's going to have to talk about how she feels, and she's liable to break down. And Gizelle is like, Wendy, you don't know me, and you don't know her either. But you got the nerve to seem to always have to call her insecure about something because she don't like you and all of that. So you make big assumptions about her, yet you don't know Wendy either, Gizelle. Now the shoe is on the other foot. You don't like that? You don't like people analyzing you? Oh, okay. We already see how you work, though. So one of the viewers, I think it was Andy who asked this, but just the fact that he came back into your life and he cheated on you again, and Wendy added multiple times, and Gizelle is like, oh, it seems like Wendy is excited about this. No, she's just speaking facts, because yes, bitch, you have so much to say about her marriage and her relationship and everybody else's relationship, but when it's you in the hot seat, bitch, you don't know how to take it. So she was like, yeah, she didn't feel any type of way about him cheating on her again, because Andy wanted to know, did she cry? She said no, she didn't cry, and basically was on some, you can't be surprised if it was done again type shit, is what she was basically explaining. And I'm like, so you cried when y'all got a divorce. You decided years down the line to allow him back into your life, and he goes and pulls the same stunt and you feel no way about it? Okay, well, if that's the case, this just really goes to show that this whole storyline was made up. If that's what I'm getting from it. You were just using him as a damn prop to secure another season on the Real Housewives of Potomac. Like, the fact that she tries to keep this guard up, and I don't like when people do that. Like, I understand, because I am a person who tries to protect my emotions a lot of the times, and I understand I'm a very emotional being. So, though I try to protect it, sometimes it does come out. But just like Karen said, if you just be vulnerable and just allow yourself to feel and, display how you really feel about stuff on screen, like, you would actually win. But she was like, yeah, she just did not basically feel a way about it. And it's because, yes, at this point, you are a willing participant. And, if you want to sign up for Sister Wives, girl, have at it. Here come Robin throwing on her embezzled cape to come and save Gizelle. Like, girl, can you relax? You always you have yet to learn your lesson to just allow Gizelle to deal with what she's dealing with, and you just sit back and listen. Because really, I have not seen Gizelle go so hard for you the way that you always interject and try to go hard for her. Sometimes it's okay to just shut up and let it be. But she was saying, why is it so hard for them to believe? And, everybody is different. Just because she's not crying and reacting the way y'all want her to react doesn't mean that she doesn't care. And, Wendy was like, oh, really? And Robin got something to say about that. Can you just chill? Why do you always have something to say? Why do you always have something to say when it comes down to Gizelle? Why can't you just learn how to sit back and be quiet? You always want Wendy to sit back and be quiet, but bitch, you don't know how to do the same when it comes down to Gizelle. Sick of her. So then they start talking about Karen and how she was blaming Gizelle for Jamal's behaviors. And Karen was like, no, I'm blaming Gizelle for her choices, because I don't feel like she should have took him back. She feels like she did it because she's familiar with Jamal. She didn't want to have to start over with somebody, which would make a lot of sense. Baby, you're settling because, yeah, you are, I guess, trying to date in your 50s. And, some of these guys may not be working out for you. So go back to your ex-husband, who is also a dog, and try to see if he's a changed person. Because remember, she said something like, he looked at her different or something, some stupid ass reason as to why she decided to give him a second chance, in which we did not really see on screen, because like I said, there was nothing there. Girl, just own up to the fact that you was settling. Even one of the viewers was saying, Wendy and, I don't know why I said even, but one of the viewers was saying, Wendy and Karen, why do y'all feel like, happiness has to be defined by a man? Y'all constantly always reading Gizelle for her not being in a relationship. And just like people have said in the past, you have to read people for where it's going to hurt, right? You can't read me about a man if I don't want a man. But with Gizelle, we know that this is something that she wants. So yeah, it is an easy read, though they can read her for far more other things than just a man. This is something that we know deep down that she wants to have, even though she constantly acts as if she ain't really studying a man. So yeah, that's why they constantly bring it up. And also because she always talks so much shit about other people's relationships. So baby, we gonna hit you where it hurts. Let's go ahead and give you a taste of your own medicine. Simple as that. But Karen tried to like not own it at first, and then she had to come to realization because she gonna try to blame it on editing. She was like, yeah, you know what, let me own it. You know, basically Gizelle been talking so much shit, so I had to give it back to you. Like, yeah, girl, let's stop acting as if this thing is not a thing. You was talking shit about her, and that's okay because she be talking shit about you. Jamal's tax issues. Why are we here? I mean, I get it. Apparently, it stems back from 2008 when she was still married to him, and she says that this has nothing to do with her. And Andy is like, technically it does because it could affect your daughters directly. Karen is telling her she needs to lawyer up. I don't care about none of this. So then Askale joins the group, and Andy was telling her how she looks great, and a lot of people on Twitter are loving the fashions, and they're hoping that some of her looks can rub off on the girls. So he asked, who would she love to style out of all of the ladies? Say it with me, class. Who did she say? Gizelle. Right. Girl, Gizelle looks salty as hell. She like, I don't care. I don't care. Like, I don't care. Girl, you do care. You visibly showed that you care. You think that you're the word on the street, miss, but that road has come to a dead end. And according to a lot of people, it came to a dead end when you graduated from college. So I'm going to need you to realize that you think you be serving looks, but ma'am, you ain't hitting no shit personality-wise. Your looks ain't getting you by. Your style ain't getting you by. Girl, you just coasting by, and it ain't doing nothing for you. Damn, I didn't have to read her like that. But nonetheless, we get into Candace and her segment and how she has a husbander and, you know, her journey with signing to a label and creating the album. And she said that, yes, Chris is still her husbander. She pays him in love. I do feel like, sis, you definitely need to be trying to give him some coin. Like, I don't know. What's y'all's take on that? Do y'all feel like Candace needs to give Chris, you know, a check, or should him as a husband be supportive and, you know, just be paid with love? Either ask who is on the deed to Candace's new house. Is Chris on the deed? Yes. Is Mama Dorothy on the deed? No, as she should not be, because Candace has enough money, I'm sure, at this time to provide for herself. But I just feel like, y'all know how I feel about, you know, her mama giving her money and looking out for her. That's not an issue for me. I just feel like with the type of mother that she has, who does use the money as a form of control, yes, her mom does not need to be on no type of document pertaining to her life. As far as Dorothy going around the place and insinuating the video shoot, insinuating that she has some type of financial input on the house, that's a lie according to Candace. And then Andy was like, okay, so what was her excuse for talking all of that ish around the video shoot and going to all of the girls? And she said that they were asking her questions. Girl, Mia asked you a question and you engaged, and then from there on you went around a smear campaign in regards to Candace and her husband and their lifestyle. So it wasn't them asking you questions, even though a lot of them did engage. Let's get that correct. Robin, Gizelle, Mia. And then Andy was asking, okay, so what's going on with how Chris felt when he seen how your mom was out there, you know, trying to throw dirt on his name? She needs a tissue instantly. Andy gets the tissue. He folds it up. He's talking about, this is a real good square that I put together. She getting ready to cry because, of course, nothing was the same. And Mia's like, yeah, she doing all that crying, but a real friend would have told her that her mama was being a messy one. No, you was being messy too, messy Mia, so I'm going to need you to be quiet. And Wendy was like, shut up. Are you talking? I said, ooh. Put her in her place because, ma'am, yeah, you didn't have the rights to be sitting up there asking all them questions. You don't know Candace like that to be getting in her business like that. But, you know, we understand you was trying to secure your champagne flute because you're giving desperation. You're giving a bit of that Drew Sidora energy. And I forgot to mention this. Like, literally, this just came to my mind. when they asked Ashley how she felt about the situation with Chris and Candace or whatever, how she was saying that he lost his business during the pandemic and, you know, he probably lost his footing, which is why he's drinking more and he's not the same person. Bitch, what we not gonna do is try to perpetuate any type of narrative of Chris being an alcoholic or you trying to analyze shit. Girl, analyze your husband and why he feels like it's necessary to touch people without their permission. Analyze that. Chris's family watches the show, and of course, you know, to have her in-laws in the same setting with her mom is going to be strange because her mom has said all of these things and she said that she just does not know how to fix it. What you should have did was get ahead of this once you've seen that the way you and your mom interact with each other and a lot of people not feeling that on screen. What you should have done was remove her, not even just for the viewers, for your own sanity, because the relationship that you have with your mom is a hater. I don't care what nobody say. Your mom puts on extras. She does the most. She talks to you disrespectfully. She disrespects your husband. Like, ma'am, this moment right here should definitely solidify you not having her on the show as much, because she is definitely one of those people who don't give a fuck about you. It's all about her. She's going to be of some sort of entertainment for the show, but at your expense. So yeah, you should have removed her because your mom is too much. She's too much. And for me personally, she's not likable. They got into the conversation about Mia and Candace and how Mia got pulled out the strip club or saved out of the strip club, but she got the nerve to try to call something low budget. And Mia's like, yeah, it was low budget. It was $10,000. Like, it is what it is. And I feel like it was low budget because I was not greeted. You so hung up about not being greeted. Girl, be there or don't be. Simple as that. Like, you acting like you all high and mighty and all of this. Girl, get your ass out of here. All right, so I gotta take it back to my roots, okay? I had to take notes because it's time to discuss what we really all came here for, which is the last scene, right? We seen that this clip had been circulating around the blogs and whatnot. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. So they got into the topic of Mia's mama. One of the viewers wanted to know if Candace really knew about her mama's backstory. And Candace said no. If she had known, then she would have talked about something else. Here come forehead. Well, you know that you do aim for the jugular. She said, yo mama. That's what she said. And the nerve of you, Ashley, to say anything about hitting below the belt or hitting somebody in the jugular, because yes, remember you was talking shit about Katie and her mental state and how she needs to be taking care of her kids. You insinuated that Monique had a miscarriage because she was drunk driving. So, I mean, who's really going below the belt here? Girl, stay in your fucking lane, Miss Ma'am. Let's not do it here, Ashley. So, Candace is saying in the black community, you know, your mama is just joning. And I say, baby, that's how you know she was raised in Atlanta, because that's something we used to say back in the day. If we roasting somebody or reading somebody shading them, baby, we used to say joning. I say, okay, Candace, you better be showing your Atlanta roots. And she said that, you know, she was going for something light with Mia. And what Mia did was be ungrateful. So, you know, this sends everybody in an uproar like, ungrateful. So she's supposed to be thanking you. No, what she's saying is, bitch, I was going easy on you and I really could have dug into your ass, but I just simply gave a very, you know, childish comeback. Your mama. And just left it at that. But no, you couldn't just accept that, huh? Girl, I could have gave you something that you could feel, Miss Mia. Be careful what you ask for. So Gizelle was saying, and she feels like her actions were not justified because, you know, she was going so hard in Williamsburg on Mia. And Candace is like, so if I want to respond verbally, welcome to the Real Housewives, because that's what we do here on this show, as we all been saying. This whole altercation thing is not within the show's formula, right? Though we've gotten times where, you know, Sheree tugged on Kim's wig. We know Monique jumped on Candace. And, you know, Teresa flipped tables. And, you know, Lisa Rinna's broken glass. Hell, all the New Jersey folks done broke a glass at some point in time. Like, Jen Shaw break glasses all the time. So there is some certain situations where physical harm can happen, but it's not in the formula, right? So it's not something that you advocate for, because at the end of the day, bitch, this is not love and hip hop. So we don't want to see that. And I told y'all before, I am not condoning violence, but there are times where some people do need their ass whooped. But for the whole Candace and Monique situation, that was not a time where somebody needs to get their hands laid on. So Andy was like, how is your way of responding? How is that working for you? What do you mean? It's working for me the same way it's working for anybody else within the show, within this cast, and any other Housewives franchises. Like, what do you mean? Fans have their favorites, and then they don't. So, I mean, what do you mean with how it's working for her? Andy, shut the fuck up. No, I didn't just try to scroll, y'all. I just tried to scroll up on a piece of paper. Ooh-wee. So he said that you were almost attacked for it. She was attacked by Monique. Not almost. She was attacked by Monique. And the way that the shit led up to being an altercation was ridiculous. Because never once did Candace give any signs of aggression, any signs of, I want to fight. So what are you talking about? Then he mentions the butter knife. Oh. He mentions the butter knife situation with Ashley. And she's talking about, you waved the butter knife in my face. If you felt that threatened by a butter knife and you felt that threatened for your life, why did you continuously come back, Ashley? Girl, you're not the victim here. You're not a victim in that case, because, bitch, you knew what you was doing. And so Andy is like, you're the common denominator. Candace said that everyone has this thing, but I just do it better. Basically, I read the bitches better, and all of a sudden, because I could read better, it's an issue. And Karen was like, I don't think anybody is better than me and Gizelle. Y'all have the same reads for each other. Go sit down, Karen. You and Gizelle don't be talking about shit, but who got a husband and who don't, and paying taxes. Girl, move the hell along. So Andy was like, yeah, you had the butter knife thing with them, and oh, hold on, wait. I think I'm skipping something. So, yes. Candace was like, now, Ashley, you and your big head, or did she say big head, kept coming back. So, Ashley was like, okay, let's talk about this, because your head is big, too. Listen, I see that picture that everybody is using. I seen people going around with a picture last night with the forehead comparisons. Now, Candace, you do have a bit of a 5 head, but one thing about it, I'm going to say, Ashley, her hairline starts up here on the top of her head. Girl, please, get you a bang and hide that shit away from the people. Andy said that he wakes up to tweet saying that she should be fired. You know how many people give their opinions on who should go and who should not? He's saying it's based off of her mouth. Honey, people say Gizelle can go, Robin weak ass can go, Ashley and her ass grabbing husband can go. Honey, everybody has their opinions on who could be fired. So, no, Andy, you're falling flat on your excuses, and I'm not feeling that. Gizelle said that she thinks that Candace needs to hold back a bit because she has a tendency to go there, and she feels like Candace is blacking out. Candace said, no, I'm there. Honey, I'm very aware of what I say. I just do it better than a lot of y'all, and y'all don't like it. But y'all know how I feel about the whole Mia situation and the, was that William? No, Chesapeake Bay, and how she basically was being the initiator of a lot of the beef between her and Mia. You know, you kind of came in already on some, you know, I don't fuck with her. And if you don't fuck with her, that's fine. But the subliminals and, you know, you just keeping it going. It was like, all right, girl, it wasn't that deep for you to be holding on to. Now, like I said, I understand she's an artist. She's sensitive about her shit. But for me personally, I just felt like, yeah, girl, just let it go already. Like, y'all have beefs on these shows. Just let this one roll off your shoulders, girl. And if you bother, just learn how to control that a little bit more, because it was not that serious. So she goes and says, you know, she tried to act like, you know, the lettuce situation wasn't a big deal. But, I mean, like I said, if Mia did want to take it there with her, being that Candace already had an altercation last season, you would think that she would handle the situation a little different. But the fact that you throwing lettuce and you moving shit around the island and talking about learn how to finish it and all of that, that is definitely giving baby, it's about to be a girl fight. Let's not act like it's not. Now, I know that's where my opinion differs from a lot of people, especially a lot of people that, subscribe to my channel that are fans of Candace. I am a fan of Candace. I like her. But in that situation at Chesapeake Bay, y'all know I was not here for how she handled it. So then Candace was like, one thing about it, I don't like the fact that Mia tried to insinuate that I would be the cause of her mama relapsing when, in fact, bitch, it would be you because you use your mama as your storyline. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Mia, you definitely use your mama as your storyline. And she's talking about her mama wanted to share her story. Bitch, you're lying. You're lying yet again. How so? When you said that you and your mama don't even talk. Your mama had been out of rehab for 10 years and she don't fuck with you. She don't want to watch your kids. So what are you talking about? She wanted to come on this show. And you as a newbie to this group, she wanted to share her side of the story. We don't even get to know you, Mia, as a person for real before you try to shove down our throats this storyline of your mama not being there. And now you want her to explain herself on a nationwide platform. Make it make sense, Mia. You sound dumb as fuck. And bitch, you're lying. Your mama did not want to get on this platform and share her story. She don't even fuck with you. Anyway, y'all, that was the end of the review. Let's get down in the comments and talk. I feel like it's going to be another long review, y'all. I really don't know. I can't really gauge how long it is because, I record, stop. Nonetheless, next week looks like it's going to be interesting as well. So let's get down in the comments and talk. Also, be sure to check us out tonight on the Whether You Like It or Not panel on Scotty by Nature TV's YouTube channel. It will be in my description box along with the community tab. So be on the lookout for that. And again, let's talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.